the other button. There we go. Welcome back to Sister Sharpens Sister, where every week we get together and we talk about first one thing and then another. But one thing that we always try to do is to learn something new. And today's episode is a little bit different. If you'll look on your screen, you'll see a couple of little me's that have joined us with Shelon, who is in the black shirt. Shelon, do you want to introduce our guests?
I have our oldest, which is Gemma, and our youngest, which is Anna.
Thank you guys for being with us. You will see
Yeah,
Dee Dee, who has a
glad you're
background of
here.
polka dots.
Yeah, I try to change my background every week.
And then my name is Karen, and I'm in front of the bookshelf. Sorry, I got distracted by my watch. I might actually have to take this thing off because there's conversation happening and it keeps vibrating. Today we are discussing stories and storytelling and how that can benefit us when it comes to our cognition, our emotional stability, and different things that people have started doing a little research on when it comes to actually breaking out a piece of paper and a pen and writing things down. Now, Dee Dee's going to go first because she's the one that started all this. So, Dee Dee, do you want to tell us how our little writing challenge came about?
Okay, we did an episode where we were trying to do improv, and I was the one who was like in charge of it, and I was telling everybody what to do and everything. So I was the host, and this was also on a day when we recorded early. It was like 7:30 my time when we recorded, so I didn't have like most of the day to prepare for it, right? So during my process of getting ready for it, I thought what would be a good idea would be to give you all some words and have you to come up with a story. And I was like, I don't have time. I don't have time to write a story. I had like maybe 30 minutes or something like that. I couldn't do that in 30 minutes. So I had AI to make a story. I'm like, okay. And I read it and I'm like, all right, it'll work. It'll do. But it turns out we didn't have time to do the story. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not using an AI story. It's not really any good. So I did a rewrite of it very quickly. And then I sent those words to you guys for you guys to turn into your own story
Right
based
now, how
on
many words was on that list again? It
like a
was
thousand and
200 and
something.
something.
227.
How much? I thought it was more than that, but okay.
No. Thank God it wasn't 1,000.
I thought it was. I don't know. I'm asleep. I'm half asleep right now. Yeah, 227. Sorry. Where I get a
That's
thousand
still a
from.
lot of words.
Yeah. So, but
And
anyway.
I hope you
Uh,
don't have a pen and you're checking us off as we read our stories because I will fail.
no. Now, do you all want to go first, or you want me to go first?
No, you go first, and that way you can like give the platform.
Okay. Well, I didn't title it. So I just this is my story. Rain lashed against the attic windows, as 12-year-old Bridget rummaged through the dusty old trunk. A glint of silver caught her eye, so she reached deeper into the trunk and pulled out an ornate, tarnished music box. She turned the key and placed the music box on some old books stacked inside the trunk. A haunting melody filled the room as a tiny, intricate ballerina slowly pirouetted. Bridget rested on her knees in front of the old trunk, mesmerized as she watched and studied the ballerina. The tiny dancer's arms were to her front, bent at the elbows with her fingertips touching. Her right leg was bent at the knee, pointing out to the side, with her foot touching her left leg just above the knee. Her left leg was straight, and she was standing on her toes. The music faded, and the ballerina stopped while facing Bridget. I just found I made a mistake. I might have to start over because in your old story, she's called Catherine.
Well, that's okay. You can still use Bridget.
Okay, because I renamed her as I was writing it, because I've been rewriting and stuff, and I was like, I don't think Catherine fits this character. So, you want me to start over or just pick up somewhere?
No, no, leave it at
Yeah,
Bridget.
Okay.
AKA Catherine.
Yes.
She
uh,
whispered
Maybe
in my ear
maybe
and she's like,
Catherine is her middle name.
"Bridget." Yeah, I looked
okay.
at Gemma and I went, who's Catherine? Or who's Bridget?
Um, the music faded, and the ballerina stopped while facing Bridget. She stared at the face of the tiny ballerina and realized the ballerina's face was an exact replica of her own grandmother when she was young. Startled by roaring thunder and lightning in the sky, Bridget looked away from the music box toward the attic window. She felt a chill sweep through the attic, and she knew this was no ordinary music box. She glanced back to the tiny ballerina and saw her hands were no longer touching.
Ooh. I just got a chill.
That's kind of creepy.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry, I did. I renamed her because I'm actually using this to try to write a book out of it. So I renamed the character as Bridget, but originally she was Catherine.
Okay. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Do you want to
I
hear the
didn't do
original story AI came up with?
Yeah, you want to compare them?
Sure. The original story is rain lashed against the attic window as Ilaria rummaged through the dusty old trunks. A glint of silver caught her eye, and she pulled out an ornate tarnished music box. When she wound the key, a haunting melody filled the room, and a tiny ballerina slowly pirouetted. The music faded, and Ilaria realized that the ballerina's face was an exact replica of her own grandmother. A sudden chill swept through the attic, and Ilaria knew this was no ordinary music box. That's all AI gave me.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't care for the name Ilaria, so I changed it to Catherine. And
That sounds very fantasy.
Huh?
Yeah.
It sounds what?
It sounds very fantasy. Like that needs to be the name of an elf.
Oh, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah. So what did you use, Dee Dee? Where did you pull from to come up with the difference that you did between your story and the AI story?
well, the story AI gave me, you noticed it just said that it looked like grandma's face, right?
Right.
All it said. And I'm like, okay, that might make an interesting story, but I think that kind of story would be like, I don't know, if someone was maybe like 20 or 21 years old and the grandmother passes away and they're going through grandma's trunks and they see this really, really pretty music box and the face looks like grandma when grandma was young, maybe. And that maybe the grandchild researches grandma and learns about an old flame that grandma had years and years ago. I think that's what that story could be.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I'm like, and it may have been the name Shelon that made me think of this as being more of a fantasy type thing.
Oh yeah.
Because then I thought, of course, I didn't like the name malaria, but I
It
decided
actually
to
sounds
change
like an
it.
allergy medicine to me.
It does sound like a medicine.
It kind of does.
So I changed it. Called her Catherine in your all's words. Um, and then I don't know, I just thought about it some and I thought, well, if it's no ordinary music box, maybe, she looks away and she looks back, and when she looks back, the pirouetted hands have moved.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that could go a lot of different ways.
yes.
Now, according to research done from Northwestern University as recently as 2021, narrative writing, which is storytelling,
Mhm.
activates multiple cognitive domains in our brain, including working memory, emotional regulation, and abstract thinking.
Yes.
And those are skills that are critical to lifelong learning and personal insight.
Yes, I can affirm for you that it does help with your memory. Because when I started doing this and started writing,
Yeah.
my memory was it just got better.
Good.
So, yeah.
I need to do this.
hmm
Well, maybe we can start making this as a like once every 3 months we get together and do this.
Please
That we
no.
write a new story.
Yeah, that we write a new story. All right, Shalon, what have you got? Do you want to let your girls go first?
Um,
I'll go.
I actually think they did a lot better than I did, so I would like to go
No.
first.
Okay.
And what I did is I had to organize it. So I had Karen's face. Listen, the way my brain works, okay? All the yellow ones are nouns, all the green ones are verbs.
You know what? I got to tell you, I thought to myself, they need to be separating out all of the formal names, all of the verbs, all the prepositions, all of the whatevers, and then put them together.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I tried to do. And then what I started doing was taking words that made sense together for me. And then I would write that down, and then I would piece together sentences. And this is what I came up with. Catherine stared through the attic window at the rain. The lightning lashed out, and the roaring thunder startled her. Just a 12-year-old girl, she felt a chill. Stacked inside the attic were some old books. To the left of the attic window was an ornate trunk. Catherine, pointing her toes, bent her right knee and her left knee. Back straight on her knees, Catherine rummaged through the dusty old trunk. A glint of silver caught her eye as she looked deeper. She pulled the tarnished music box from the trunk. Standing, she placed the music box in front of her. In the music box was a tiny, intricate ballerina. Catherine turned the tiny key. The ballerina's hands and arms reached toward the sky. She pirouetted as a haunting old melody filled the room. She was mesmerized as she watched the tiny ballerina. The music faded slowly. Catherine rested her elbows on the box. She studied the dancer's young face and well, let me cross that out because I already said it. She studied the dancer's young face, and she realized the ballerina was an exact replica of her own grandmother. And that's what I got. So
There you go.
Yeah,
That's really good,
it
Shalon.
is. Yeah, it's good.
And she knew what the assignment was, right? She understood the assignment. She actually
Yeah.
went through and used the words and put them all in order. And I had this list of words and I read them and I wrote a story. So mine is a little bit different. Just
I
letting you know that ahead of time.
I have to say that I love what the girls did, and I love to see their own creativity and the
Mhm.
way their minds work in putting things together. So I'm going to ask Ina to go first. A comes before G in the alphabet. Go, girl.
Okay,
Be sure to speak up so we can hear you, okay?
can I just say I just took random words and put them in sentences.
Okay,
Okay.
So it's just random.
that's
Okay.
fine.
Maybe lean forward a little bit, baby. That way, maybe we just want to make sure they can hear you.
Okay. Old Catherine looked out a window while touching her leg. She pulled a box to her as she glanced at the trunk. She slowly placed her right knee facing the attic. Old Catherine pirouetted toward the attic. She knew she was a ballerina. She was an ordinary ballerina. Don't talk so fast. Catherine saw her grandmother was the ballerina in the trunk. She was mesmerized at the ballerina, reaching her arms, touching the silver music box. She caught lightning and thunder facing the trunk, and rested her elbows on the trunk. The ballerina bent her knee and stopped as the music faded. Catherine, pointing her toes, lashed away to her tarnished window. She was startled and studied her eye. The dancer's face was the attic key. The ballerina stacked the trunk, the dusty box, bent her leg against the trunk. This filled the ballerina's leg with melody. The ballerina was standing straight when the music turned into haunting music. Tiny hands were roaring in front of the ring. The old replica
Fingertips.
fingertips, and a tiny foot. At 12 years, young Catherine rummaged through the tiny trunk.
That's good.
It is good. Yeah.
I like
I
it.
like it.
What were you thinking about when you wrote that? Were you thinking like, rain and stormy and scary, spooky vibes, or were you just thinking old memories and old
I
pictures?
I was trying to do Catherine finds the music box and then it breaks, but there was limited boards.
Yeah, that's all right. I feel like you did a good job.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Gemma.
Okay, I have to say that me and mommy kind of worked together and we gave each other ideas. So for me, some of my stuff is similar,
There's similarities.
but it's
Okay.
not the same. Okay. Catherine, a 12-year-old ballerina, looked out the attic window and stared at the rain. As the lightning lashed, Catherine caught a glint of silver in her eye. To the right of the window was an old trunk. She rummaged through the inside of the dusty trunk while on her knees, and pulled out a tarnished, ornate music box, a gift from her grandmother. I added those words a little bit. Stacked in the trunk were some books and a key. So Catherine turned the key in the music box, and an old, roaring, haunting melody filled the room. The tiny ballerina pirouetted as her arms and fingertips reached toward touching the sky. Catherine watched as she turned slowly. The music faded. The ballerina stopped as Catherine studied the dancer's face. She glanced around the attic, pointing her toes and sweeping her feet left to right. Catherine was mesmerized as she rested her elbows on the trunk. She was touching the ballerina's face when she realized this was no ordinary ballerina, an exact replica of her. She felt a chill as the thunder was roaring through the attic. She bent her knee, standing straight. Facing her was Catherine. Catherine was the tiny young ballerina.
That's kind of
Wow.
gives me the
That's
chills
really
too.
good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Like at the end, I was like, it was a replica of her, like a mirror, kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good idea.
that is a good idea.
Mhm.
Now, in 2014, a study that was published in the journal Psychology and Aging found that autobiographical storytelling can help older adults maintain their cognitive sharpness and their emotional well being. And it's even being used in dementia care to preserve memory and identity.
Okay. So I need to write a
Huh?
story about me and you walking to the school bus and walking home and gathering up all those flowers to give to mother.
Yeah, or walking out to the school bus when there's no school because it's 2 feet of snow and we have ice on our eyelashes.
Why did you wet your eyelashes?
We didn't. We had on scarves and we were breathing and it was coming up underneath our glasses
Oh,
and it got all over our eyelashes. I have seen books when you go to the bookstore and even at Walmart that are like dear mom or from mom or something like that. And you buy it for your parent to let them write down these different reflections that they've had throughout their life. And then you've got like a little autobiography of your parent or your grandparent.
I've seen
I
those.
can,
Yes.
yeah, there's actually Autumn talked about it, Karen, on her stories one day where there was a company that did it and they would email her dad is who she did it for.
Yeah.
And for many weeks he would get an email prompt and he would write it and then they put the book together for like Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember her talking about that. That's been a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys were all worried about adding extra words, and I feel like I just took the dictionary and opened up the pages and shook words out onto mine because,
I I added a lot of words
I
to
wanted to
mine.
do
Like
that.
I added one. It was a gift from her grandma. That was like
Hmm.
what I added.
That's fun.
yeah, well,
That's
Right.
like
that's
the
good
only
though. It
thing.
worked very well.
Hmm.
And when I got started writing on this, I don't know what happened. It's like Dee Dee's little challenge kind of like pulled the plug, and it just all just kind of came out.
Okay.
All right, so you guys ready?
Yes.
I'll let you know that everything I'm getting ready to read is actually on this paper.
Okay.
Okay. The trunk in the attic. Catherine had never meant to be in the attic. Attics were for the old, the dusty, and the dead, or at the very least, the things that no one wanted to deal with but couldn't quite throw away, which made it terribly appropriate now that she stood in the attic of her Nana's house, elbow deep in a trunk that smelled faintly of lavender, mildew, and regret. The trunk was old, leather bound, and not in the charming vintage sort of way, but the sort that suggested at least one escaped banshee had used it as a vacation home. Catherine bent over it, rummaging through books filled with yellowed pages and dusty corners that coughed up the past like a cat coughs up a hairball, inconveniently and far too much texture. She'd been looking for her Nana's will, and instead she found a box. It was tiny, ornate, and made of silver so tarnished it looked like moonlight that had just given up. So naturally she opened it. Inside was a ballerina. Not a replica, no, no, this was something else entirely. It was a ballerina that looked far too real, even if it was only about 2 inches tall. It had on faded pink slippers, and its feet was poised in an eternal pirouette. She glanced at it, and the music started. There was no key, no winding, not even a button. But as the lid rose, music filled the attic with a haunting, tinkling melody, one that made her knees go oddly warm, like they were remembering music, but they'd never heard it. The ballerina turned slowly, arms out, face lifted to the low beams of the attic, where the sky leaked rain through a crack in the slate roof. Catherine stared, mesmerized, touching the box without realizing it. The ballerina twirled, then, pointing her foot with deliberate grace, froze, and the music stopped. Right, said Catherine to no one in particular, because there wasn't anyone else in the attic, and because that's what people say when they're about to do something foolish that they will later describe to their friends and family as spontaneous or spiritually significant. She reached for the ballerina, and the music started again, and so did the pirouette. She pulled her hand back, and it stopped. Cheeky thing, muttered Catherine. She looked around. There was her grandmother's old tea set, a replica not even worth stealing, a stack of books with titles like Incantations for Idiots and So You've Summoned a Demon, Now What? And the aforementioned trunk now stacked with her own indecisions. Rain lashed the window, and then the lightning struck. Literally, it hit the window. The attic shook, and the ballerina moved again, but this time not with a music box melody and not just her legs. She lifted her leg. She lifted her head and faced Catherine, pointing a delicate arm at Catherine as she did so. Don't you dare, said Catherine, backing away so fast she smacked her knee on the trunk. Too late. There was a chill in the room. Not a cold, drafty chill, but the kind of chill that suggests the room itself is about to sweep you into a deep plot. Her fingertips tingled, her elbows were buzzing, and her knees were definitely not having a good day. The ballerina moved again, and this time so did Catherine. She didn't mean to pirouette, it just sort of happened. It wasn't a graceful thing. There was a lot of flailing. One leg went up, the other one did not follow. The result was a young woman doing an impression of a windmill trying to file for workers' comp. What the? She gasps as her arms moved against her will, one leg now bent like the dancer's, the other doing something known in dance circles as absolutely wrong. The ballerina in the box mimicked her, or perhaps led her. Catherine couldn't be sure. Her face reflected in the window looked startled and very much like someone who had realized she was touching a magic box with absolutely no sense of self-preservation. She stumbled to the left, spun to the right, and landed knees first on the attic floor with a loud oof. The music stopped. Again. She looked up. The ballerina was still, but now different. Her face looked older, or wiser, or smug. Catherine crawled to the box. You are cursed, she muttered. You have got to be cursed. She reached out again, because when someone says a character reached out again, it really means something plot critical is about to occur, and so here we are. So she reached out again and she touched the ballerina. Nothing happened. She poked it. Still nothing happened. Then the ballerina's eye twitched. Oh no. The box emitted a click, and the ballerina stood, flexed a tiny knee, and bowed. Catherine sat back, breathing hard. Well, that's not ominous at all. And she stared at the thing. Yes, she actually thought thing. Then she noticed something at the base, an inscription. In intricate swirling script it read, "She who dances with the forgotten shall become but a memory." That was helpful. Vague, magical, and ominous, just like Nana's cooking. Catherine sat there facing the box, the attic, the thunder, the dusty smell of time that collapsed in wood and rafters, and a trunk full of ghosts who never bothered to write. And then she saw it, tucked in the back of the trunk, an envelope with her name on it, a letter from her grandmother. She opened it. "Dearest Catherine, if you found the box, I'm either dead or on holiday. Probably both. This box belonged to your great-great-grandmother. It's a relic of the old ways, when women weren't allowed to be dancers, unless they did it magically or behind the queen's back. The ballerina doesn't control you, not really. She reflects what you've buried, fears, joys, regrets, and aspirations. If you dance and find it joy, she'll stop. If you fight it, you'll just fall on your ass. The attic is where we store the parts of ourselves we're too scared to throw out. With love, Nana. Yes, don't forget to dust." Catherine stared at the letter and then the ballerina and her own face that was reflected in the window. She stood up, dusted herself off, and faced the box. And the music started to rise again. And she moved. Not perfectly, not gracefully, because she wasn't a dancer, but she did it deliberately. One foot, then the other. One arm raised, one leg bent. She twirled. And for a moment, the attic was brighter. And for a moment, the music did not sound haunting. It sounded like memory. It sounded like coming home. The end.
That was so good.
It was funny.
Yes.
That's the
Karen,
dictionary.
you could be a good audiobook reader.
I don't have the voice for it. I keep telling Arnie and Megan they need to do that because they can do voices. I can't do that.
You just did with the grandma. That was good. You sounded like the witch.
It made
in
me
the
think.
kitchen.
It made me think of Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter. Okay.
Yes.
Who in Harry Potter?
The envelope that reads.
Yeah, Mrs. Weasley when she's mad.
Maybe that's what I was channeling. Actually, I kept thinking about Terry Pratchett while I was writing this story.
The envelope.
It's a howler.
Yeah, the Howler. Yeah, interesting. I liked it.
Well, thank you.
I did too. Did you write that yourself?
I did.
She did.
Okay,
Well,
Karen.
kind of. You know, Dee Dee gave some words.
Yeah.
So there. How's that? Me and Dee Dee wrote it.
Okay.
Yours
Karen.
was the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You used the dictionary.
I did. So, let me see what I'm looking at. Penn Baker and Beale in 1986, and a researcher by the name of Smythe, Smyth, in 1998, wrote that journaling and expressive writing have been shown to reduce cortisol, the stress hormone. It improves your sleep and increases the clarity of your goals, especially in fitness and recovery journeys. So journaling can do a lot of things for us.
This one here follows journal prompts that you found on Pinterest.
Yeah. I found this 30-day writing prompt on Pinterest, and it gives you a prompt and you just write about it.
She's been doing it.
Yeah, I
All
filled
right.
up like most of it here. I filled up this much of it, and I have this much left.
Well, you're going to run out of space.
I
Mhm.
know, that's why I brought another one for this trip.
Yeah. Well, Shalon, if you find that link to the journaling prompts that she's using, I'll add it in to the
Okay.
show
You
notes.
can just send it to her.
Okay.
Okay. So, how did everybody feel writing during this challenge? Dee Dee, what
Frustrated.
It was overwhelming.
overwhelming?
Yeah.
Non-intelligent.
Well, it's a little bit overwhelming for you guys because you were asked to do it at the last minute, right?
And we were on
No.
vacation.
It was
Yeah.
on Monday.
But
We've
yeah, but
actually been knocking this out
if
over the
this were
past few
school
days.
assignment, right? If this were a school assignment and your teacher had assigned it to you like a month ago, it wouldn't have been overwhelming, or would it have still been
I think
overwhelming?
I would have, like, since I would have more time, I would have done better.
Yeah, same.
I think there's phases to it. It's initially overwhelming, but then you like work your way through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
I felt. It was like, oh my gosh, Dee Dee, 227 words? You've got to be
Sorry.
kidding.
Sorry. I just quickly did it because we were working on a time crunch and stuff, and I wanted to get it rewrote for you guys to get you all the stuff because we were supposed to do it the following week.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, so
Mhm.
yeah. No,
I
no.
wasn't
I mean, once
I wasn't
once I got
challenged for
started
that.
on
I
it
just
though, it just
hmm
like it just came.
well, that's when I wrote this. I don't know. I didn't spend hardly any time on this at all. What
So
I wrote for
when
you
you're
all.
writing, because I know you're like writing seriously, this was just a little fun thing that I
hmm
did, but you're writing seriously, and you've noticed that it helps your memory.
hmm
What else have you noticed that it's helped with? Are you sleeping
Um,
better? I mean, anything like that?
no, I don't think I'm sleeping better, but I think it also helps. It helps me learn about myself because I'm having to look internally in order to write the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm.
I have to think, oh gosh, what would this person do? Okay, well, it's not me, but what would I do if this happened to me? What would I do? And then I have to take that and then change it to fit whatever character I happen to be writing at that particular time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things is that it like after you read your story, the note that I had from Northwestern University says that it
hmm
helps to provide personal insight, which
hmm
is what you're experiencing with that.
Yes, yes.
Would you do it again? I mean, like,
Absolutely not.
I
no?
would.
Yeah,
I would.
I'd do it again.
It was
Okay.
fun. Like, yeah.
Are you
So
insane?
should this become a regular segment for the podcast?
No,
Yes.
no.
Well, you don't have to do it, but if all of us want to, how about we take turns writing the original story?
Next.
She's like, no, no, me next.
Yeah, because you get all the words. That was limited words.
Yeah, but then your words will limit us.
Yeah.
I don't care.
She don't care about
Okay.
it.
Not being done to her, then it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I have nothing on my calendar for next week.
So
So,
next week will be a surprise. We'll figure it out this week.
yeah.
All right. Shalom, when are you coming home?
Tuesday night.
I thought it was
Tuesday
Wednesday.
night? Okay.
Tuesday night.
Well, it's been raining, so I've only had to go one day to water your plants.
Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. And I saw you're getting a zucchini.
I
And
noticed that.
did I tell you that I moved some of your tomato plants out from underneath the leaves of your zucchini?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, we're just yapping. I was like,
Yeah,
wondering.
no, she'll edit it.
I'll cut that part out. All right.
Thank you
So,
guys for joining us today.
You're welcome.
yes,
I
it's
have
really
fun.
fun listening to your old stories.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you for inviting us. Well,
Of
Mommy
course.
for inviting us.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, It's always a joy to see you guys and listen to what you're able to come up with. I love it.
Mm-hmm. So now we also need to say that everything that we have read today is protected under the United States copyright laws. No one has any right or permission to copy or replay or do anything with them. And if you do it, we're going to come after you, and we're going to start with a cease and desist. And then if you don't stop, we're going to come after you even more.
Yeah. Right there. That's our legal advisor. All right.
Wait,
You guys enjoy the rest of your vacation. We will be back next week with something that we don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But until then, you guys enjoy yourself. Go out and learn something new.
Yep.
Love you guys.
I love you guys.